Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Unfiltered commentary. And not your truth, the real truth. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi, folks. From the Washington Examiner. Jim Acosta says journalists dealing with post-Trump stress disorder. Now, you notice its initials, of course, the acronym's PTSD. How clever. Normally, I wouldn't give this piece of dog feces any time at all, but I think it's worth making fun of them. CNN's Jim Acosta said reporters are experiencing post-Trump stress disorder following the former president's exodus from the White House. When you're asking me if I was run down, I thought you were referring to how I felt during the Trump era. Oh, how clever. Jim, God, you're such a funny guy. Acosta told CNN chief media correspondent Brian Stelter, oh, there's a pair. You take Brian Stelter, Jim Acosta, Don Lemon, and Chris Cuomo. I think between the four of them, I don't know if I would hire any of them to count cans in my bottle redemption center here in upstate New York. If I had to pick one, though, that'd be a tough call. Correspondent Brian Stelter, when he was asked how he was feeling so far in the President Joe Biden's term, I think we're all dealing with some post-Trump stress disorder. Other than that Happy Easter he was saying in those statements a few days ago. Well, I noticed as soon as Trump was gone, Jim Acosta got yanked from the White House. His job was to be a pain in the ass there. And he was a pain in the ass. I will have to give him. He fulfilled his mission brilliantly. Rude, obnoxious. Yeah, you know, Trump's not exactly the most graceful, mannerly person either, but he's president of the United States, and Jim Acosta is technically a journalist. In 8th grade, we had a mock thing for history where we had a union and the union members were negotiating a contract, and I got the job of being the journalist to report on the proceedings. I was a better journalist in 8th grade as a boy than this moron was, and he makes a ton of money. Acosta's Happy Easter mention was in reference to a Sunday morning message from former President Donald Trump in which he railed against radical left crazies and touched on the so-called rigged November 2020 election. Happy Easter to all, including the radical left crazies who rigged our presidential election, want us to our country, Trump said in the message from his Save America PAC on Easter Sunday. These guys are so screwed. See, here's Jim Acosta's problem. When you're such an extreme narcissist as he is, and you're not getting all this FaceTime and airtime anymore, you're getting real withdrawal. Trump derangement syndrome, I've seen experts on both sides of the aisle on all the stations say it's actually real. On Saturday, the former president wrote, for years, the radical left Democrats have played dirty by boycotting products when anything from that company is done or stated in any way that offends them. Now they're going big time with a woke cancel culture and our sacred elections. Finally, time for Republicans and conservatives to fight back. Way more people than they do by far. Capping off the message with Happy Easter. Acosta was CNN's chief White House correspondent during the Trump years before becoming chief domestic correspondent. What is that, like the garbage man is a sanitation engineer? Also spoke on moving forward from Trump's presidency and possibly limiting the amount of coverage he receives while he resides at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida. Possibly limiting the amount of coverage he receives. But you can't blame him for anything anymore. You can't say that he's destroying the country and then kids are going to bed at night crying, wondering what's going to happen to them when Donald Trump is president. Little brown and black kids just terrified of this monster. Well, they can't do that anymore. So they're going to give them limited coverage? Yeah, because they can't pound them anymore. In terms of stacking shows, what comes first and what comes second, Brian, You and I know all too well. We did cover the news before Donald Trump came along, and we did it pretty well. Wait a minute. I got to read that again. In terms of stacking shows and what comes first and what comes second, Brian, you and I know this all too well. We did cover the news before Donald Trump came along, and we did it pretty well. Oh, my God. I got to do that again. Look at this guy. And you know what reminds me? Did he write a book? Anybody out there, look it up for the heck of it to see how many copies this mental pygmy sold on his book. I'd be very curious to see. We're going to be plenty of stuff in the news out there that doesn't have to have Donald Trump in the headlines for us to continue to exist, especially when he's putting out these statements, Acosta said. Yeah, you're going to continue to exist with about 10% in the end of the people that you have now because your ratings are in the toilet. The toilet. I wish I had the sound effect for a toilet flushing. Maybe I'll put it on there someday. Oh, but those got their multi-million-dollar contracts. They still got to pay them, no matter if they work or not. I see Brian Stelter in the middle there. I wonder if he's sitting in his underwear like the other day. Jesus. Remember that one? He's sitting at home in his underwear with his tie, dress shirt, and sport coat on. He had time to tie his tie, but he said he was rushed and couldn't put his pants on. But he found time to tie his tie. God, these people are so screwed up. Yeah, there's plenty to discuss about. How about the fact that China's about a hair's breadth away from invading Taiwan? How about the fact that the Russians are massing at the Ukrainian border, waiting to invade there? What do you think the North Korean guy is going to do? Kim Jong-un, what is he going to do? Is Japan, Vietnam, South Korea going to help Taiwan out? Is the NATO troops going to help Ukraine, which is their NATO ally, and they have treaty agreements with them? And by the way, it was Donald Trump that threatened to pull money from NATO to make the Europeans put in their fair share, which brought billions of dollars into the NATO coffers from the countries that weren't paying their fair share. So if Russia does invade Ukraine and NATO defends them as per treaty, you can thank Donald Trump for the extra equipment and the extra technology. But of course, that will never happen. Not with this idiot. He added that Trump was engaged in and continues to display behavior beneath the executive office. Oh, okay. Beneath the executive office. He's not a politician. He's never had elected office. He's never ran for anything at all, except for this, and he won. When he was president, he was doing things that were beneath the office of the president, he said. Now he's doing things beneath the office of the post-presidency. He's not going to change, but we need to change with the times. Whereas what? You're not going to cover Trump anymore? Because there's nothing to cover. You guys are so screwed. Stelter, while referencing Trump's recent string of statements mentioning claims of fraud that have been rejected by the courts and election officials, said, it's important to note the big lie is still alive and well in the pro-Trump bubble. I mean, the lie that there was Russian collusion? The lie that he was in Moscow with prostitutes? The lies that one after another and all the impeachment things, the 2 impeachments and all the charges. You mean all those lies? The big lie that Russia is the one that interfered in our election with the help of Donald Trump, using a foreign power to gain power. Dun, dun. Oh, I feel like using my sound effects today because this whole thing's a freaking joke. Pro-Trump bubble. These morons have been in a bubble for 2 decades. I feel like it went away after the riot, after reality reared its head. But no, the big lie is out there in the pro-Trump bubble. At least he called it a riot and not an insurrection. I'll give him that. That's the only thing I'll give him in this whole thing. These people are so screwed, except for the big shots, though, like Stelter and Brian and Jim Acosta and Lemon, as Tucker Carlson calls them. and Chris Cuomo and a lot of the big shots on CNN, they have contracts. They were already set for life. They don't have to work again for the rest of their lives. None of them. And I love the name of Stelter's show, Reliable Sources. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me, right? Reliable sources. They don't have any sources. They make 90% of it up. Their day is coming, I'm telling you. There will be a long road to hoe until then. But these morons and the social media monsters, their day is coming. Their day is coming. The bad guys don't always lose right away. Sometimes take a long time for the bad guys to lose. But in the end, they normally do. Almost always do. We have to be vigilant. And when they start to slide down, don't feel sorry for them. Push them harder to slide even farther down. These people need to be taught a lesson. You can't continuously lie to the American people. You can't merge with a political party as media and shirk your responsibility to report the news. We all have bias. I have mine. These three have theirs. As humans, we all do. But these guys belong to the Democrat Party. The social media monsters belong with the Democrat Party. I think they actually own the Democrat Party, but that's just my opinion. These guys shirk their responsibility. Old school news guy, even Walter Cronkite, who was an ultra liberal, behaved and reported the news as journalists should. Look at these guys. I don't know the young lady on the left, so I can't comment. But Stelter and Acosta are the poster boys for disgusting, deceiving media manipulation. And these morons will probably get awards. Anyway, folks, until next time, goodbye and good luck.